When you're sad and blue and everything is putting you down, you know the world keeps spinning around. You know you're not alone.
Yes, with MS, the world keeps spinning around, but you're not alone. Welcome to the 10 Minutes for MS podcast, in which we share information about MS in just 10 minutes.
Hello everyone, welcome to 10 Minutes for MS podcast. Today we have a very special guest on our show, Mr. Udo Erasmus, who is one of the leading authorities of fats and the author of Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. Udo is also inventor of flaxseed oil and the creator of Udo's CHOICE oil. So welcome Udo to our show. It's an honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor for me too.
Thank you, Udo. I went through your history that you were born in Europe during Second World War, and along the way you have taken up various jobs from fruit picking to carpentry to gardening, burning bush, spraying pesticide, and many others, which we can say has lots of close interaction to wilderness, all of the jobs that you have taken up. And in 1980, you were poisoned with pesticides. Thereafter, you took up the mission to focus on health and create unique, healthy things. And you invented flaxseed oil. So what was the thing that made you focus on oils? And how did you come up with the idea of creating flaxseed oil?
Right. I had a background in biochemistry and genetics and biological sciences. And when I got poisoned, the doctor said, we have nothing for pesticide poisoning. So it was, I'm responsible for this. And of course, I was responsible for it. And we need to understand that, right?
It's a job.
And I understood, I was looking at everything about health and nutrition, disease and nutrition, because the body's made out of food. And every year, 98% of the atoms in your body are removed and replaced. That's why healing is possible. So if you raise the standard for food intake within 1 year, you will have rebuilt 98% of your body to a higher standard. Of course, if you lower your standard, that'll happen too. Then in a year, you'll have rebuilt your body to a lower standard. Mm-hmm. And when you're sick, it's about the standard's too low. So you have to raise the standard. What does that mean? Well, health is the natural state. It has principles and components that need to be followed. Mm-hmm. And it's about living in line with your nature and the natural system that made you and within which you live. And when you do that, then you're healthy. And when you get out of line with nature or your nature, then you get sick. Yes. So when you get sick, you have to learn to come back in line with nature more. People with MS are famous for having lousy diets. Mm. And this has been known for 40 years. This was known before I started working in health 40 years ago. Mm. And so what we did with people who had MS, we said, number one, you got to get your oils right. What does that mean? Omega-3 and omega-6 are essential. Yes. You can't make them in your body. You have to bring them in from outside. You got to get them in the right ratio, and they're super sensitive to damage. So you have to get them made with health in mind. And I developed a method for doing that when I learned all of this. And I learned this because they're the most sensitive of our nutrients. They should have the most care. We give them the least care. Mm. Well, and more health problems come from damaged oils than any other part of nutrition. Okay. And more health benefits come when you get your oils in line with nature. Omega-3 and omega-6. You can't make them. You got to have them. If you don't get enough, your health disappears. You get deficiency symptoms. If you don't get enough long enough, you die. If you bring enough of them back into the diet before you die, then all of the problems that come from not getting enough are reversed, because life knows what to do to make a body that's healthy, provided we make sure that we bring in all the building blocks, make sure they land in our body so life can use them to build that body. Omega-3 and omega-6 fit that definition. You need them both. 99% of the population doesn't get enough omega-3s. Every cell needs them.
Right.
And they're the most sensitive and a nightmare to work with, because you have to take care of them. They're like perishables. So we said, okay, we'll give them that care. And oh my God, we could help so many people by bringing omega-3s back into the diet. So when people tell you, oh, you know, use omega-9s and olive oil, dumb idea, because they're not essential.
Okay.
Right? They're okay as fuel, but omega-3 you have to have. And what we started doing with MS people, we gave them the good oils, a tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per day, mixed in their food, spread out over the course of the day. So most people would take 2 to 4 tablespoons of Udo's oil with omega-3 and omega-6, made with health in mind, right ratio, in glass, because plastic leaches into oils and you don't want that in your body. And they're refrigerated and you don't use them for frying. And if you're smart, and most people with MS are actually very smart people, you get your frying pan, you turn it upside down, you hit yourself on the head with it really hard, so it's associated with pain, and you throw it out. Because that frying pan that's the dumbest thing we have ever invented to do to our food, and is absolutely health destroying. So we put them on good oils. We took them off bad oils. That was number 1. Number 2, we gave them digestive enzymes to take a load off the digestive system. Because when you eat raw foods, because that's nature's standard, fresh, whole, raw, organic. When you eat organic foods, when you eat raw foods, there are enzymes in those foods that do 60% of the digestion of the food for you if you chew up your food properly. But when you cook them, you destroy those enzymes. Now you more than double the load on your digestive system. And when you do that, it can't handle it. And then the immune system has to get involved. And now you're tying up your immune system and it's not able to do its other jobs in the body. So we said, if you eat raw food as much as possible, go plant-based as much as possible. If you eat cooked food, even if you eat raw foods, take digestive enzymes with your food.
Okay.
And then the third thing we told them is the same thing happens to probiotics. When you cook food, you kill the probiotics on the food. You need to replace those. And then the fourth thing we told them is eat greens till they're coming out of your ears. Lots of green, as much as possible. Green foods are the foundation of all life on this planet.
Okay.
So eat a lot of green foods. And we had people who did that, who reversed their MS.
Yes.
Now, there's other things you can do. Obviously, attitude is important. You know, a peace practice, because you're not spending your energy thinking and being negative, and you know that's hard on your health. So if you do a practice where you find the peace that is the foundation of your existence, and you feel that peace, that's you reverse aging and you help healing. Very important. If you can go in and feel the unconditional love that life has for your body, that's really healing too. Wow. And if you can, from being in touch with that energy, if you're inspired about something, like you are about helping people with MS, or like I am about turning health into a teachable field, turning human nature into a teachable field, or whatever it is, that you have a purpose that helps with quality of life, that will also help your quality of life.
Absolutely. So well said.
Right?
I totally agree.
Yeah. So that's but we didn't push that so much. We didn't talk about that so much. I talk about that a lot now. Okay. But the foundation is, because the energy that keeps you alive never gets MS. And the peace in the core of your being never gets MS. And inspiration doesn't get MS. And electrons don't get MS. And atoms don't get MS. And molecules don't get MS. MS begins at the level of interactions between molecules. And either there's toxins that shouldn't be there that derail the natural chemical interactions, or you're missing something that's essential, or your digestion isn't working, in which case you don't get all your nutrients and you get toxicity created in your own body.
Right.
And when you live in line with nature, all of that gets taken care of. And, the body is a terminal condition. So you also have to accept that, but you're not the body.
Absolutely.
You are, physically you're the body, but mentally you're the mind.
Yes.
And in terms of energy, your life, and in terms of spirituality or whatever you call it, peace, your peace. You are all those things. Where do you want to focus? And when you focus on what is healthy in you, that helps a lot. And when you feel that, you feel good. And when you feel good, you want to take care of the body that you have. So you'll change your habits. If you're inspired, you can change your habits. Not so hard.
Yes.
If you're depressed, oh God, I got the MS, and then you're depressed, then it's really hard to change.
Absolutely.
And so it's important that you find a way to discover the inspiration that already lives inside of you that wants out. Right?
Wow, I love this conversation with you. It just doesn't seem that this is going to be an informative session alone. It's going to be an inspiring session at the same time.
Right, because if you're full of information and you're depressed, you will not put good information to use. Yeah. You have to be inspired. It's like part of the job as an educator. You got to inspire people because that frees their energy. Wow. That gets them out of their thinking ruts, their habits. And when you have that energy to get out of your thinking ruts, then you can think new thoughts and create new habits.
Wow, I love this session with you. I love speaking to you and listening to you. I can listen to you for hours now. I bet that.
Yeah, but I only get 10 minutes.
No. I think I can extend this longer for you. Provided you give me time. Thank you. So coming back to the topic of flaxseed oil, I understand that flaxseed oil has great benefits and also has lots of omega-3, but it also lacks omega-6 at the same time. So I think because of which you had the thought of creating the blend of oils, which is the it's omega flax oil has a lot of omega-3, not enough omega-6. Sorry.
And I became omega-6 deficient.
Okay.
And I got dry eyes, skipped heartbeats, arthritis-like pain in my finger joints, and thin, papery skin. Those are classical omega-6 deficiency symptoms.
Oh my God.
I fixed it by eating sunflower seeds because they have lots of omega-6 and no omega-3. The balance between the two is important. The omega-3 is missing in most people's diets. They don't get enough for optimum health. And the omega-6 is partially damaged by the industry processing and by the way they're used in foods. So you need both made with health in mind. Both are sensitive. Very important. Of the nutritional issues, that is the single most important one. And then, 80% of the population doesn't get enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important for immune function. Yes. And is very important for health in general.
Yes.
Magnesium, 80% of the population doesn't get enough. That's important for energy production. Mm-hmm. The omega-3s, I call them the God molecule because they're the highest energy molecule of all of our physical nutrients because they have double bonds. Mm-hmm. And they increase fat burning and they increase energy production and they increase oxygen metabolism. Anything that increases energy improves healing. Because it gives every gland and every tissue and every cell more energy to do the job it is supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that's really important. And then, you know, antioxidants, selenium is a good one. And, you know, and then being active.
So what do we have in Udo's Choice, which you created?
Right. Udo's Choice is a blend of oils that I put together after I became omega-6 deficient on flaxseed oil. I realized flaxseed oil is unbalanced.
Yeah.
And we need something that can't make people omega-6 deficient. And so we created the blend that has all the good you need from oils and none of the bad that you should avoid. Never use it for frying, but you can put it in hot food after it comes off the heat and in cold food. And it's literally compatible with every food, with carbs, with fruit, with vegetables, with protein, literally compatible with everything you eat.
All right. All right. So since you said that when we cook oil, that's the worst thing we are doing to any oil. So what for the people who are actually cooking food in oil? What oil should they use?
They should stand in front of the mirror and slap their own face. No. So if you're going to cook, use water. You know, the oil industry has only been around since about 1900, so 120 years. Before that, cooking meant in water. Now cooking means in oil. So the meaning of the word has changed. We called it frying and deep frying if you used oil. Now cooking means usually involves oils. Oils will always be bad for cooking. Doesn't matter what oil you use. The hard fats are not as damaging as the liquid oils when you fry them, but they don't have the essential fatty acids and they still burn the food, and then the food will still burn your health. You know, fried oils fry your health. When you're trying to get well, don't fry your health. That's not the way to get well, right?
That's quite a statement. Fry your health.
They fry, but they do. You know, oils are vindictive. They treat you like you treat them. If you treat them with care, they'll take care of you, and if you fry them, they'll fry you. Right?
All right. So Udo, I have another question about flaxseed oil. So it said that in MS, the myelin sheath gets damaged. And it is also said that flaxseed oil is said to help in remyelination. Is there any kind of proven evidence which supports this statement? In the brain and in the nerves, the omega-3s play an important role in the structure and in the function. And from the omega-3s, the body makes a whole bunch of hormones that regulate cell activity, and it makes antioxidants from them, and it makes anti-inflammatories from them, and it makes feel-good molecules from them, and it makes immune function enhancing molecules from them. So they have many, many functions. And the omega-6 is similar to some extent, but opposite to some extent. So the omega-3s are the magic, because so many people are deficient in them, and they do fundamentally only good things. And you want to have enough omega-6 so that one doesn't get crowded out by the other. So the balance is important, but the omega-3s are the magic. And part of the magic is that they're part of this membrane structure, but part of the magic is that they are the high energy molecules. And so whatever needs to go on in your nervous system or in your cleanup or in your immune system dealing with whatever gunk you have in your body, you know, the more energy you have, the more each of the systems can do its job. You know, they show the hormones work better at the cell receptor level, you know, and all your whole nervous system is receptors between nerves, right? They work better when you have omega-3s. They work more effectively, and the hormones work more effectively. So that means you have health longer into later life, because they make all of the tissues and organs and glands work better.
do their job better. They make the liver work better. They make the kidneys work better. They make the skin nicer. They make vision better. They increase IQ by 3 to 9%.
Right.
Not percent, points.
Okay.
So there's research on all of that.
Okay.
And your brain, your brain, if you squeeze all the water out of your brain, what's left is 60% fat. So if somebody calls you a fathead, that's a compliment. Right? You fat, they called me a fathead in school, right? You fathead. Yeah, I'm so proud of it.
Wonderful. So, okay. So what do you think? Why do we need fats?
Why do we need fats? Because they're essential building blocks and sources of energy in the body. And essential building blocks are all the building blocks, that come from nutrition that your body can't make. 13 vitamins, 18 minerals, 9 essential amino acids from protein, and the 2 essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6. Those are called essential nutrients because you can't make them and have to have them. If you don't get enough or you don't get any one of those, you die. Slowly as the level of them goes down. So they're what you need to have. You don't need sugar in your diet, and you don't need starch in your diet because you can make energy out of fats. And what is essential is like really important. This is like the fundamental building blocks that you have to have for life to be able to make your body work and be healthy.
All right.
And be normal. Because health is the natural state.
Thank you. And do fats make you fat?
No, never did and never will.
Wow.
Most overweight comes from 2 issues. One is inflammation. When you get inflammation, you get water retention in your tissues.
Right.
And if you can get rid of the inflammation, and omega-3s help, and so do some other nutrients. When you get rid of the inflammation, you basically pee out the overweight because the water is released from the tissues and then it goes through your kidneys. And then you literally can pee out your overweight. And sometimes people can lose a lot of weight really fast if it's from inflammation. If it's fat, it's usually from carbohydrates. You eat carbohydrates. If you don't burn them all in exercise, then the body has to turn the excess into fat, and then they're stored. And then the body's really good at turning carbs into fats when you've got enough, when it's taken them out, because too much blood sugar is toxic for you. So that's how insulin, high blood sugar triggers insulin. Insulin drives the sugar into the cells. In the cell, you burn what you can, and what you can't burn turns into fat. And then when that's done, you probably have low blood sugar. And now you're hungry. Now your body's screaming at you, eat or die. and then you tend to gorge, overeat, because you're trying to get your blood sugar up, but it takes time to digest them. So by the time your blood sugar is normal again, you've eaten too much. And now you have the next cycle of what we call carb addiction. That's where most overweight comes from. The best way to fix that, do a fuel shift or a fuel switch. So instead of carbs being your main source of energy, make fats your main source of energy.
Okay.
And that's what keto diets are about.
Yes.
But the keto diet, you have to make sure that you give priority to the omega-3 and omega-6 made in health, with health in mind, in the right ratio, because from fats, that's the most important thing that you have to make sure you optimize if you want to be optimally healthy. The keto diets usually are mostly saturated and monounsaturated fats, and those are not long-term sustainable for health.
Okay.
So you do a fuel switch, you make good fats your main fuel, and then you eat lots of vegetables, but not potatoes and grains and bread. which is full of starch, but the green vegetables and the, the water-rich vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the things the rabbits eat.
I love rabbits. Thank you. So my last question to you today is about seeds. So what is the difference in the nutritional values of seeds and oils? So for example, I can have flax seeds as well, whereas I can have flax oil as well. So what's the difference?
Right. The difference is if you want to go back to basics, we came out of a place where we didn't have industries. So we ate foods the way nature made them, fresh, whole, raw, organic. And in winter, we could store seeds and nuts, and they are high energy foods. And when it's cold, maybe not in the tropics, but, where we wandered off into the cold regions, right? Then those were good foods to eat in winter because they store well and they keep. And so, and they have a lot of energy. And when it's cold, then you burn a lot of fuel just to keep warm, right? Unless you put on clothes.
Right? Is there any kind of nutritional difference in the value as well?
So what you get in the whole foods, you get minerals and vitamins and oils and proteins and fiber.
Yes.
So it's like a whole meal in the seeds and nuts.
Right.
But you may not get optimum intake of oils. And that's why the oils. Now the oils, they enhance flavors and they improve the absorption of oil-soluble nutrients in foods. So that's why you use them with foods.
Okay.
And then you get more oil. And I actually tried, can you get, somebody said to me, why are you making oil? In nature, we came from whole foods, right? Yeah. And then it was like, and obviously they told me that you're going to be optimally healthy if you only eat whole foods, fresh, raw. And then the question is nature's mandate for us optimum health? And my answer is no. Nature wants you healthy enough to grow up, healthy enough to have children, healthy enough to take care of the children until they don't need you anymore. And then nature doesn't need you anymore either. And in order to recycle you earlier, in your body earlier, if you're not optimally healthy to begin with, then you will die sooner than if you're optimally healthy. So optimum health, a little bit we cheat nature. I'll give you an example of how we did that. When you don't have enough oil, your skin gets dry. In winter, that shows up more than in summer when it's cold, in winter when it's cold. And in the desert, it shows up more than in the tropics. But even in the tropics, people get dry skin.
Yes.
What causes dry skin? Not enough oil in your skin. And skin gets it last and loses it first. Because if your heart dried out, that'd be a serious problem, but you can live with dry skin. So when you get enough of both essential fatty acids, they form a barrier in the skin against the loss of moisture. And you end up getting soft, smooth, velvety skin. It's really nice. And then you don't need to put gunk on the outside, right? And we measure optimum intake of oil by that feeling of the skin because it gets it last and loses it first. So when your skin is nice, you have enough in your body. Okay? And you oil your skin from inside. You oil your skin from within.
Yes.
So I tried when this person said, "Oh yeah, but we were made for whole foods and you shouldn't be doing any oil," and I decided to do an experiment on myself. So I only ate seeds and nuts. It was mostly flax and sunflower seeds. Flax for omega-3s, sunflower seeds for omega-6s. And I ate them in the same ratio as they are in the oil. In summer, in California,
Okay.
In summer, I only need 2 or 3 tablespoons. In winter, I need 4 to make my skin nice. So even in summer, when I need less oil, I could not keep my skin from drying out by eating just seeds and seeds and nuts.
Okay.
And so my answer to that is eat the seeds and nuts. They're good nutrition. They're really good food. And they're associated with longevity.
Yes.
Eating seeds and nuts. But if you can't get your skin soft and velvety, then add however much oil you need to add in order for that to happen, because that's your measure of optimum intake of the good oils.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Udo. Thank you so much for all your great advices today. It was so lovely speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Thank you so much, Udo, for your time. We'll meet again next time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, warriors, for being with us. I hope you found this session useful. We will be back again.